I wanted to ask, speaking of Michael Jordan, whether it's with this documentary or something else you've done within the NBA, what's your best Michael Jordan story?
Hmm. My best Michael Jordan story. Um, Man, I started in '97, and Andy Thompson was already following the Bulls at that point. Um, so I don't really have any personal MJ stories. I mean, interviewing him, I didn't interview him for the Dream Team because uh, with these guys, one thing that you find out early is that the stars always go last. They always go. The biggest stars always go last. Whether you're following a team, or you're doing a shoot with several players, the big stars always go last. And so MJ, Bird, and Magic were the last three interviews. I think I did all the other ones, but we were making another film for ESPN at the time called The Announcement about Magic Johnson, and so I literally was editing the announcement while we were producing the Dream Team. So I didn't do those three interviews. I had interviewed MJ for something else, and that was a really cool experience, obviously. I know. Actually have an MJ thing I could tell you. It's you might end up cutting this. I don't know. Maybe not a great story. But when I was an intern for the Heat, I'd never been in an NBA locker room at the time before, right? And these guys were, it was like being in front of like the biggest superstars at the time.
Greek gods.
Yeah, Greek gods, your idols. And I remember the Knicks came, and I went into the locker room and I saw Anthony Mason face to face and Patrick Ewing. I was like, holy shit, this is the coolest thing I've ever done. And my job was to get quotes for the PR team to release to the press, right? So I had a little tape recorder, and I would just, stand in the scrum and record it. And I was just staring at these guys the whole time like, oh my God, you're actually that big, right? 6'10", 7 feet. Holy cow. It was just incredible. And I remember the Bulls came to town, and I walked into the locker room and I saw Michael Jordan in the locker room. And I couldn't believe that I was standing in a locker room with Michael Jordan. It was one of the coolest things to have ever happened to me in my life. And I'm like, I get to go put a mic in his face. He probably hated it. And then, several years later, doing an interview here or there with him, just a really nice guy. People don't expect that from a lot of these guys. I was able to develop a relationship with LeBron, and just the greatest guy. So that was my MJ story right there, just being so starstruck the first time I saw him. Now it's hard to get me starstruck.